Before I start this video, I want to show where I'm currently at with Mika Mount. I got the upper portion of her body built. I even have the area for where it's going to split all set up. And I even got a little bit of the upper portion also built. The only reason why I haven't done anything since is because I was waiting for some rare earth magnets to come in from Amazon today. And I'm actually going to start building her today also because this video is on something else. And these are the rare earth magnets I got. So I'll be able to use these to properly align everything. And then I'll be able to properly secure this, or not secure, but make a little mounting system. That way so I can lower and raise it whenever. That way so I can take her to like anime cons and whatnot and actually stick her in my car. So with that said, let's actually get this video done or started. So I've been alluding before in previous videos that I'm in the process of getting components ready for, or buying components for a new computer. I'm going from all AMD back to Intel and NVIDIA. For those that have watched my videos way back would know that I had over a year worth of computer lows that just saw me throwing my components in the trash, throwing them against the wall, throwing them on the floor, and so on. So yeah, all that completely turned me off on AMD. Even with these newer GPUs that they're coming out with, I don't feel like touching them. I'm not going through that bullshit ever again. So I just recently got myself a motherboard processor combo and a cooler from my local Best Buy for about 500 bucks in total. That includes all three pieces. I have an overclockable i7, a fairly nice MSI Mag motherboard, and a decent cooler. I am not overclocking my processor. I need stability, I need consistency, and overclocking, that does not do. Also, overclocking is nothing more than a dick measuring contest. Fight me in Minecraft. I also have, of course, my RTX 3070, but yeah. I'm slowly getting all the components. I have a case coming in Monday. After that, I'll just need to get a power supply, RAM, and a few spool drives. And I believe like 2 extra fans, and that should actually be all I need to get to build this computer out. But don't expect a build video for this thing for a while still. Another thing I'm getting is I'm finally replacing my old tired desk. So what I need to do is I need to make sure that the desk I have in mind will actually fit in with my current setup. So, excuse me. What I've done is I moved this table all the way to the wall right here, and I moved my dresser right here this way a bit, and I pushed it more towards the wall. That way so I can still, well, open up my door and whatnot. And if anything, I've actually gained walking room now since I pushed this thing more to the wall and whatnot. And general measurements say, as of right now, because I have been double checking this thing quite a bit, that the new desk I'm going to be getting, which is a 4-foot long by 30 wide desk, will fit in here completely fine. The only thing I'll have to do is I'll have to relocate this and relocate this. But that's going to be easy to do because all they are is just hot glued onto the actual wood and whatnot. Though I do need to clean them off because, well, my soda cup's here and soda does bubbly, fizzly stuff, and, well, yeah. So, with that said, with all this bullcrap done and out of the way, why am I titling this thing Speaker Rebuild? Well, these speakers I've been using for my current system, the little pinchiometer for the volume up and down has been crunchy ever since I owned this thing. And I got these from Goodwill, as you can tell. These are still fantastic speakers. I absolutely love them. They fit my setup completely fine, other than this ugly little stain right here. I do need to actually reupholster these, and that shouldn't be that difficult. But either way, I love these speakers, and I still want to use them. But again, crusty volume knob is crusty and annoying. So I got myself a new amplifier to resolve this issue. One of these build-it-yourself amplifiers, or at least semi-pre-built amplifier. This thing can handle 12 volts all the way up to 24 volts, and I'm just going to use the power supply that's for the speakers to power this. It's a 13 volt 4 amp power supply, which will be more than enough for this thing, considering the thing can go all the way up to 24 volts. So all I gotta do now is, well, put it together. I have a smaller revision of this for Congo and a few other little builds I've done in the past. I'll also be using one in Mikamo, I think. Depends on how I go with her. And I haven't had any problems with these do-it-yourself boards from China that I get off Amazon. These things are really good. Now, they say they're hi-fi. I doubt it, but either way, again, these are perfectly fine little boards. So I'm going to put the thing together and come back. Watching a good old DinkPod video. It took me about 6 minutes to build the amplifier. Unfortunately, the only instructions they give are this right here. Not anything of how to actually put it together. But then again, at least for someone like me, it's fairly obvious how to do it. The small little nuts right there go at the bottom, while the big ones go on top. And it goes by, or comes together real quick and easy. So the next thing for me to do is to actually plug it all in, wire it up, and of course, got my current sound system and whatnot. And of course, it even comes with its own custom little plug right here. If I can pop it out with a little socket. The only thing I hate about this is the wiring diagram is on the actual unit itself and not replicated on the little plug right here. But since I'm just using the original amplifier transformer, I'll just be able to just unscrew those screws and just plug the positive and negative in and just power the thing up and whatnot. So with that said, I'm going to come back when I get my subwoofer and whatnot on the table and get ready for being torn down and whatnot. After I rewind DinkPod's newest upload and actually watch it in full because I love my card nuggets. Alright, I think I'll start with the small one first. I've taken this thing apart before, so I know what goes on, but it's just 4 screws, so I'll come back. Alright, got the PCB removed. I'm keeping the base because, well, it allows the speaker to actually stay put and whatnot. It's going to look a little stupid like this, but in the end, it's what I need to do. Here's the actual PCB itself. It's quite sparse, actually. They could have easily made this PCB a lot more smaller than it is. Oh yeah, another thing I forgot to mention is this aux port right here, for some reason or another, doesn't always work. So if I bump this thing just the wrong way when I'm wanting to change the volume, I completely lose audio on the left channel. This, of course, is the right speaker. So yeah, that's another thing I'm definitely going to be happy that I'm going to be maintaining once I do the swap over and whatnot. So with that said, I think the next thing I need to do is pull apart the other speaker. And of course, the other speaker basically had nothing in it. Now, I did do a custom job on this one here, but I'm just going to cut it internally. That way, so if there's any breaks in this cable, I'm not going to have it. So I'm just going to cut right there, and then I'm just going to add in new wiring. Alright, now to pop apart the subwoofer. So there's going to be an electronical box right here. Subwoofers right here. I'm going to have a cable like somewhere over here that I can snip. And then I'll be able to just custom wire that one also. And I'll be able to still utilize this subwoofer because, again, the speaker system works completely fine. It's just the caps on the amplifier section or a little volume knob section are old and crusty. Here's the main board that powers everything in comparison to the board for my new amplifier. Generally speaking, they're actually about the same size, though this one is slightly smaller. But the and of course the capacitor is actually smaller too. But again, this thing is significantly newer. So I think due to the way this is actually designed, I'm going to remove the board here and just store this piece, because I don't think I'm going to be needing this, especially considering how I'm actually going to have everything placed and whatnot. But for right now, I guess the next thing for me to do is remove all this dust and do a termination for the wiring right here and whatnot. So I'll go and come back when I get all this crap situated and come back. As I was scrounging around, I found the other amplifier I was talking about. I have 2 of these. This is one of them. This is the original build-it-yourself amplifier I bought originally, about like maybe a year ago. And of course, I've been eyeing this one for a while, ever since I've been wanting to do something like this. I only just managed to finally do it because, like I said before, I'm completely redoing my setup. Again, I'm getting a new computer and whatnot, and since I want to still use my original speaker system, I'd rather also splurge on a new amplifier for it. especially considering this one seems to have a bit more controls than the original one, which is exactly what I want. Alright, got everything wired up. I tuned it to the way I like. The original power supply I was planning on using, it doesn't want to actually provide power unless it's plugged into the original PCB for the original sound system. More than likely it sends a little switch or a little pulse to the actual thing to kick it on, but whatever. I found another one that'll work for now. It's an old Bose power supply. It's only 18 volts at 1 amp. So I actually want to go to Free Geek whenever I go back next week and find a more adequate power supply, i.e. a 13 volt 4 amp power supply. But for right now, this one will do the job just fine. And generally speaking, granted you'll be hearing this through audio, or not audio, but YouTube compression and whatnot, but at least to me it sounds halfway decent. So I can't complain for like, what, 30 bucks? So the next thing for me to do is figure out where exactly I'm going to put this thing, because what I'm actually planning on doing is I'm actually planning on putting this underneath my fractal case when that comes in, because I'm going to be getting a bigger case and it's actually going to be lifted off the ground a little, off the table a little bit more, and I'll be able to just slide this thing underneath it and whatnot. So with that said, I'll figure out where exactly I'm going to place this for temporary purposes and end the video. Alright, it's not that elegant, but I have it placed right behind my monitor. The cable is kind of all over the place. I have the power supply right over here. Again, it's only temporary. I'm thinking about a month or so, because around December time is when I actually plan on getting all the crap necessary. Granted, it's about 4 things, but there's more than likely going to be miscellaneous. So when it comes to the actual build video for my new computer, that won't be till like sometime mid-December, maybe early December, depending on when I get all my components. But with that said, I finally got the amplifier set up. I got the speakers to the way I like, and now I can get back to watching YouTube and watching Democrats cry.